First of all, happy Father's Day weekend. May God bless all who have the important, holy, and difficult role of being a dad. And may God bless all for whom this weekend is filled with joy, all those for whom this weekend is tinged with sorrow or heartache, and all for whom it's a mixture of both. May you be sustained by the love of our loving Father, whose love is beyond what we could even imagine. This weekend, I'll ask the question, what does every child need to know? More precisely, on this Father's Day weekend, what does a child need to know from his dad? Now, as we mentioned a while ago, this pre-recorded version is kind of my first attempt at this. I know I'm kind of wedded to my notes, and I apologize. I haven't had a whole lot of time to practice. The weekend version, which also gets posted, usually doesn't change dramatically unless something else changes. I always feel like more confident in the presentation, but I still hope it's of some value. In any case, again, thanks for joining. If you are a parent, perhaps you can understand this conversation between a dad, who will remain anonymous, and his son. Now, as Dad describes it, one evening he's in his chair reading, and his son kind of snuggles up to him and looks up with his big eyes and sweet face and says, "Dad, can I ask you a question?" Dad puts down what he's reading and says, "Oh, sure." And the kid says, "Dad, can I have a chainsaw?" Dad tried not to laugh because he knew his son was dead serious. Now, it is the energy of many a boy to want things that give a feeling of power, of the strength to change things. A little boy with a chainsaw is a powerful thing indeed. Of course, Dad said no, right? A 10-year-old with a chainsaw is more powerful than he ought to be. But I understand the desire. Who does not want to have enough power to make an impact, to leave a mark of some kind or another on the world? For every child, no matter how old we get, there are some fundamental questions, right? Things like the questions, do I have what it takes to make a difference? Right? As well as, am I safe? Am I good enough? Am I seen and loved for who I am? Do I have what it takes? On this Father's Day weekend, let me say this as clearly as I can, dads. Whether your children know it or not, your kids are looking to you to answer the deep questions of who they are. Now, moms, your work, of course, is crucial as well. And of the many roles, it is often you, though not always, to whom a child first turns if they skin their knees or get made fun of. And of course, many moms need to be the ones who provide both masculine and feminine energy that their children need. And often, although it is wounded soldiers on the battlefield, the one they call out for is for their mothers in their last moments. And dads, sometimes you are the one who provides both the feminine and masculine energy that your children need. But in particular, it is you who give your children identity. I mean, their identity as human beings in this world. It could be argued that one of your most key roles as a father is simply this: by how you live and relate to them, you answer your child's true questions about who they are. Your children need to know through your words, by how you look at them, by how you treat them, by the example of your own life, that they are seen, that they are believed in, that they are loved no matter what, that they are worth fighting for, that they are worth suffering for. It's such a crucial role. So much so that they might want a chainsaw, but they will know already that they don't need one to find their place in this world, to know that they have what it takes. Now, of course, some of us never learned those foundational things as kids. Some of us learned in silence or in ugly or angry outbursts that we don't have what it takes. That life is not to be trusted, that no one truly sees us and cares about who we are at our deepest self. And this affects us for the rest of our lives. Really, too often we try in one way or another to prove ourselves. We end up, usually without realizing it, desperately get some sense of our Father's approval, whether we're alive or dead, and too often in ways that aren't really healthy, right? And if anyone hearing me now did not get what you needed as kids, well, if any of us did not get what we needed as kids, we need to do some work. We need to name that, grieve it, and find ways to be mirrored back for our identity by good people who get it, right? So we can be reminded of who we are. And if you never truly heard these things before, or at least not well enough, I believe that Jesus would want me to look you square in the eyes today and say, you have what it takes. You do. I see you. I believe in you. You are deep down safe. You matter. I love you for who you are. Today on this Trinity Sunday, St. Paul speaks of the power that lives in us. He says, the love of God has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that has been given to us. God has been poured into our hearts. Did you hear that? Yeah. And Dad, as you help your kids know these foundational things, you are channeling the very energy of God inside of you for your kids. When I think of my own dad, I think of various things. Sometimes how he sacrificed to love us and keep us together. He worked a difficult, dirty, and sometimes dangerous job in a car and truck battery in the city. And then he'd come home with a gazillion things that needed to be done, trying to somehow also find time in there to maybe occasionally play catch with us. And he never complained. He'd just get up early in the morning, go to a ridiculously early 6 o'clock mass, and then just do what was needed to be done as best as he could, right? Watching my dad gave me a sense of how I would want to be in this world. Dads, your role is a handful. Yeah, no one does this perfectly. So thank you for all the ways you work to be a good dad, to be a good person, and to remember who you are, even as you do your best. And your kids will be barraged by a world of social media and other influences that give them a distorted sense of who they are. I mean, the very air they breathe tells them that their worth is tied up in how many likes they get or followers they have, how handsome and successful they are or aren't, what experiences they can rack up. They will be led to believe that there is a way to get through life without suffering, or that they have to create their own meaning, or that their lives are all about them, or that it's not acceptable to ever fail. None of those are true. Yet your kids, without a doubt, will know failure and fear, loneliness and loss. And you can't ultimately protect them from that. But you can help them tremendously by helping them know that their worth does not depend on any of those things. Dad, they need to know who they are through you. So, to end, dads, whether or not you ever yourself wield a chainsaw, I try not to. You are powerful. You are powerful. In the lives of your children, you have one of the most powerful voices of all. No one will ever be in a position to have the impact on your kids as you do. So dads, finally this. When it comes to what your children need and what you can offer them, you have what it takes. You do.